Hey everybody, so I'm here today to talk to you about this 20U professional sewing machine, and I got this machine as part of a 2-machine deal, and this is a Singer 20U made in Japan. It does a 7mm wide zigzag stitch and straight stitch. It's currently set up with the zigzag feed dogs, needle plate, and foot. You can also get optional accessories for this machine that are a straight stitch needle plate, straight stitch feet, and straight stitch foot. But right now I've got it on the zigzag version, and I'm going to try to tell you today what I did, what modifications I did to the machine since I got it, which I think it wasn't working great. And again, I am not a professional sewing machine mechanic. I'm just a hobby person. So I just did what I thought would make it better, and I did have some help from people in the Vintage Industrial Sewing Machine Facebook group that gave me some hints and tips and tricks to get this machine working better. So I have adjusted the height of the feed dogs. They were coming up kind of a little too high above the needle plate, and then I also lowered the presser foot because someone had put the spring pressure on all the way. That's this knob here. Someone had put the spring pressure on all the way, and it seemed like it wasn't still holding the fabric on the feed dogs. So I actually lowered the presser foot a little bit, and I adjusted the direction and strength of the check pin, check spring here. I adjusted that, the strength of it and the location. And then I also sharpened the hook a little bit with 400 grit sandpaper. I sharpened the hook on the top and bottom, made it a little pointy, so when you put your finger on the hook, on like the tip of the hook, it feels a little like you're touching a steak knife, not like a needle or a straight pin or anything like that, but a little bit like a steak knife. And I think that helped to pick up the threads where it was missing stitches on the right and left sides. So my problem with this machine was that I wasn't able to get it to catch the stitches at the full width of zigzag, which is 7mm, on the right and or the left side, and the tension was a little off, so that like all of the top thread was coming out below. So what I want to do now is I want to give you some close-up photos of how I set up the machine and a little video of the timing for this machine. It's difficult. You have to get it to work in the center and to the right and the left if you want to set up the timing. So hang on, and I'm going to turn the camera around, and I'm going to show you a close-up of how I have the timing adjusted, okay? So hang on a second. Okay, so welcome back here. So what I have done is I am now looking at the back of the machine because the bobbin case is actually in front of the needle. And if you come in here, I have removed the needle plate. I have just, sorry, let me zoom out here a second. I'm on the back side of the machine. I've removed the needle plate, I've removed the foot, and I just slid this off to the side. So I'm going to zoom in here now. Ooh, sorry. Hang on. Focus. Okay, I'm sorry if I'm making you dizzy. I'm going to zoom in here on the area between the feed dogs. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the needle by hand. So what you're looking at, let me see if I can get my screwdriver here. What you're looking at here on the back of the needle is you've got the eye of the needle, and then you've got, I believe this is called the scarf of the needle, where it's a little scalloped indent. Okay, so that's critical in your timing. So right now, my machine is set for straight stitch, so the needle's coming down in the center of the feed dogs, okay? So you'll see that it goes down, and on the way up, there's the hook. Right now, the hook is this pointy thing right here at the tip of my screwdriver. I'm sorry, my screwdriver's magnetic. It's right here at the tip of the screwdriver. That is the hook. And what happens is it comes by and it catches the thread, and then it pulls the thread around the bobbin casing and it makes the stitch. Okay, I'm not going to go into that, but my point is that as I'm rotating this and you see the needle coming down, what you're watching is, focus this here, you're watching the needle coming down, and what you're seeing is that the needle is actually on the upstroke. So the needle is going up at the time. You can see the hook point now coming into view on the left side in between the feed dogs, and the needle's on the rise, and the hook hits the needle right there, catches the thread, and then the needle comes up and the hook has caught the thread. So that's how we're forming a stitch. Generally speaking, it's the same for walking feet machines and straight stitch machines, pretty much. Again, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is kind of how I learn and what I'm doing. So this is the key on the timing, okay, is that right there. And then for zigzag, you need it to catch on both right and left sides. Now, hold on a minute. I'm going to move around to the front of the machine and show you something specifically on this Singer machine, so hold on. Okay, so now I'm back at the front of the machine. The machine is just in straight stitch, so everything I've said so far applies to just most single straight stitch machines, walking feet as well, because I've used the same technique on my walking foot. So I'm going to zoom in here on this area, and we can see I'm looking at the needle bar as it goes up, okay? So when it goes down, you'll see, and I'm sorry, that one part's in the way. Let's see if I can focus here. Sorry if I'm making you dizzy. There's two marks right here on the needle bar, okay? Those marks apparently are separated by approximately 2.4 millimeters. You use these marks or any imaginary marks on other sewing machines to mark the time when the needle has gone down. So right now the needle is going up and then it's going back down, and you will see these timing marks come out and be exposed. So I'm looking at how much is exposed, and then I'm going to turn and continue to turn in that until that same distance has gone up. So right there is where my needle should be timed for like a straight stitch machine. But here, when I look at my needle, you can see that the hook is on the right side of the needle. I'm at the front of the machine now, so we're looking at the front. So that hook is on the right side, and it will come forward, and right there it would catch the thread. That would be not properly timed if it was a straight stitch machine, but we're talking about zigzag here, okay? So I had to play with this until I could get it to catch on both right and left sides. But those timing marks are, I believe it was like 2.3, 2.4 millimeters. That's where your needle should be on the way up when your hook catches your thread. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to set the 20U to maximum zig and zag, and then we're going to watch the action of the needle and hook. So you can see how I timed this, and right now I have the machine timed so that at full zigzag width, it's giving me these really nice rows of stitches, and it's not skipping stitches, okay? And the tension on the bottom thread is also good. So I'm going to put it in full zigzag, and we'll go around to the back and we'll watch the motion of the hook and needle. Hang on. Okay, so now we are in full width zigzag mode. So you can see that the needle comes down far to the right and then back to the left. Okay, so I'm actually standing right now on the back of the machine. Standing on the back of the machine, and I have zoomed in to watch the action of the hook and the needle. Okay, I can't exactly explain why this works because it seems like it wouldn't, but I had to make sure that it was going to catch my thread on the right and the left side. So you watch, and here comes the needle down on the right side now, and I'm on the back of the machine. So you can see it's gone down now to its maximum, and it's on the way up. Okay, and here comes the hook coming around. Oh my goodness, you can't see. Okay, there. Hang on a minute, I'm gonna get something to put the phone on. Okay, sorry about the bad camera work. So the hook is coming by the needle. It will collect the thread, form a stitch. Then on this side, and again, I have the machine set to full zigzag. The needle goes down and the hook is coming around, but the hook comes around, catches the zigzag over here, but it also, the exact same hook has to catch the zigzag when it's on the other side. So you have to fiddle with it until you can catch the thread in both stitches at max width. So I'll just go over this again. It's coming down on the right side and the hook is coming right now. You can see the hook coming. The needle is raising up and the hook will just barely catch the thread before the needle is too high. That works for me. Maybe there's a better way to time this, I don't know, but that seems to be working and not missing stitches. Then when it comes down, the needle goes to the other side. Okay. Now the needle's going to the other side. And mind you that the needle is on the upstroke when the hook comes by. And that's where that hook right there, as it's passing the needle, will catch the thread. Now, maybe I could have the needle just a hair lower. This would still work, but it's working now. So I'm not really going to change it just yet, but the needle could maybe be lowered like 0.5 millimeter, but that's catching the thread right there as the hook is passing in front of the needle and the needle is on the upstroke. Then the needle goes back to the other side again, and here comes the hook. This time the hook is coming to the needle much later because it has to travel that additional 7 centimeters as the needle's on the upstroke and catch the thread right there. You can see that's where the hook will catch the thread on the needle. Okay, so that's how I've timed my Singer 20U. All right, I'll just do this a little more so you can kind of see what I have going here. I'm sorry if this isn't making sense. I try to do my videos so that people can understand. See right there, the hook is coming and will catch the thread in the needle on, that's technically the left side because I'm standing in back of the machine. And then going around again, the needle comes down on the other side, set at max, excuse me, max zigzag. Here comes the hook now, and the hook will catch the thread right there. So that was done looking from the back of this machine. That's how I timed this machine. So hopefully that explains a little bit about the Singer 20U. This knob here gives you set stitch width, and this knob here sets a ceiling or maximum for stitch width. Okay, and that's the stitch width lever, This is the stitch length lever, and this is the position of the needle. Okay, hope that helps you all. Thanks for watching.